My name is Shalon, and I'm here to help you find your next favorite book and your next favorite author. And I'm so excited to be talking with Shay Dawn. Just in case you haven't met her before, Shay Dawn is an indie author who specializes in bringing the humor and the steam in her Black romance novels. She's born and raised in Oklahoma City, and she's in the midst of an amazing debut year as an author with readers already craving her next release. Her catalog includes Unexpected Connections, A President and a Singer with a Secret Past, and quite possibly the worst vacation anybody has endured. uh, Thank you so much for joining me, Shay.
Thank you for having me. Look, I love the introduction. Can I just get you to just record me one?
Yeah, sure. I could definitely do that. I am so excited to get into your author origin story and just like what sparked your love for storytelling. So I would love to know what reading or writing inspires you.
Um, Everything black. Like I love especially black romantic comedies. Just anything centered around us, I will pick it up. I just any genre, really.
Yes, yeah. I love that. Is there any that you can remember that was your the first book like you really loved that centered Black people and Black experiences?
So I was a reader. When I was a kid, I read a lot. Cheetah Girls, series of unfortunate events. And then as I got older, like I was a young mom, I was always working. I was like, I don't have time to read. Like I don't have time for this. One day I happened to be in that Bullseye store that we don't shop at anymore. And I saw Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. And I was like, this is beautiful. And I had been picking up books just to put them on the coffee table. But I picked that one up and I finished it in 24 hours. And it just sparked something. And I just haven't put the books down since. So,
Yeah, that was also my first entry into Black romance. Absolutely loved it and have been stuck there ever since. Can you share a little bit about how your background shapes the kinds of stories that you like to tell?
um, I grew up with two parents who had, I mean, not in a bad way, but they had their fair share of tea that I learned as I got older. But I grew up with my parents. I grew up watching my sister in a black romance. Is that what you call it? Relationship. But I grew up around us, and that was kind of what I wanted to see more of in my writing.
Mhm,
Um, it's just always what I've been around and what I've wanted to see more of.
mhm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And like I mentioned, you're in the midst of your debut year. Love at a Funeral, which was your first book, was released 4 months ago and has had really amazing success so far. Can you share what your path to publication looked like from the initial idea to actually publishing?
Okay, so it's been non-linear. It's been a lot of Googling and last year I've always had like ideas like I want to do this, I want to do that. And last year at the beginning of the year, I made a TikTok and I was like, I want to, write something this year. I want to put something out, even if it's just something small, even if nobody sees it. A couple of my friends on TikTok, and it was originally meant to be a novella. I started it in like January. I had other things, but that one kind of stuck with me. So
Mhm.
I started writing and I'd slack off. And then towards the summer, I was like, you know what? We're gonna buckle down. We're gonna focus on just this and we're gonna get it done. So a lot of reference books, a lot of Googling, a lot of re-edits. It was self-edited. It was all me. Like I was too scared to even show it to anybody until it was pretty much done. Got there and I was like, got scared. Like, what if this is trash? What if I put this out and like they're like, girl, what is this? So I got on threads and like sent out a SOS, like, hey, if anybody's interested in reading this little thing for me, can you just having my DMs, and I had some authors and some of my bookish friends who like answered the call, and they were like, "Girl, what are you talking about? Like, put it out." So some more googling, ended up putting it out on Amazon, KU, and everything, and kind of snowballed from there.
Yes, snowball is definitely the right verb because I've definitely seen since you published it just your cover everywhere, and we'll talk in a little bit about your illustration journey as well, but just like your cover everywhere and everyone sharing how much they love the book. And I really enjoyed Mona and Tamir's story and just how hilarious it was. There were moments where I had to pause because I was laughing so hard. I was like, what is happening with these two? Just love them so much. And I definitely think that's what readers responded to, because I think you got quickly to 1 million page reads like pretty soon. Is that accurate?
It came out October 1st, and I think by the end of the year, I had 1 million. It was that and Happy Birthday, Mr. President. But yeah.
Yes. That's amazing. How are you feeling about the reception so far to your work from having that idea and really committing to it last January, so only a little over a year ago, and then actually being able to publish it and get some positive reception?
It's crazy to me. Again, I put this out, like, I got a couple friends who might read this and think this is cute, and the reception has been insane. It's also a little scary how fast things have progressed, because I'm like, wait, okay, hold on, because I'm really just out here. I really don't know what I'm doing. But it's amazing to see. Really, really grateful.
That's great. Yeah, I definitely want to talk a little bit about the inspiration to that story, because that is a very, for Love at a Funeral, that is a very unique situation. I don't think I've read another book where that's how the love interest met. So what inspired that story? Because you could have decided to go in a lot of different directions. I think you mentioned wanting to write and having different ideas. So what made this the idea that you wanted to explore?
It was literally just something that came to me, because in the Black experience, you leave the funeral and it's like, well, how was the funeral? And you're like, why are you asking me how a funeral was? It was a funeral. But something always something always happens. Like, I can think back to the last 5 funerals I went to, and something happened that was worthy of telling. And I
Mhm.
was just sitting there one day, and I was like, I always have something running in my head. I always got like a list of ideas on my phone, so I'll just jot it down as it comes to me. But I was like, what if this girl what if this girl like just went to go mourn her boyfriend, and then this happened and this happened? She ended up leaving with this person. It just literally just that prompt came to me, and then it just went from there.
Oh, that is so cool. And was there anything specific that you wanted to pull in, but based on like the character of Mona and then the character of Tamir? Like, what made you want to like craft them in that way with their very hilarious personalities and then them trying to interact together? So, what were your thoughts about like creating them as characters?
I knew I wanted her to be a sweetheart. Like, I know after it came out, I mean, and most of it was loving, but a lot of people were like, "Why didn't she get up and do X, Y, Z at that funeral?" I'm like, "That's not who she was. She was a sweetheart. She's a lover girl. She can get active if need be, but that little part was very much me, because I'm very much the woman was too stunned to speak. Something is gonna happen, and it's gonna take me 3 to 5 business days to process that,
Yes,
and
yes.
I'll be like, man, I should have did this, but I was in shock.
Mhm.
And he is very much, because of the things he's went through, he was like, nobody's rolling over me, nobody's rolling over her. Like, this is just what it is. So,
That makes sense. Yeah, I definitely love them interacting. And I know you're currently working on Amaya's story. And we could see how things progress for her. Is she tangled up with that client that was mentioned in Love at a Funeral, or are we going to meet somebody new? What can you share about her story?
I'll tell because it is kind of told already that those two stories kind of run concurrent to each other.
Hmm.
Um, so she does end up with the client, I guess,
Yeah, yeah.
allegedly, unless they
Allegedly,
break up at the end or something. You never know.
yeah. That is funny. Yeah, I'm so and I love how you were able to illustrate the cover and give some life to your characters. Can you talk a little bit about like how why you decided to do that and like dip into illustration, and just like what you wanted, um, how did you want that to help like showcase who your characters were for those who are just finding out about them?
So I know there's a whole lot of discourse about the whole AI covers and everything. I
Mhm,
try not to use it. No, no shade to anybody who does use it. I just, for me, try not to. First of all, I'm scared of robots. I don't want to give nothing insight to what's going on in here. And
mhm,
I needed a way, like, I can go look for, stock images, but these people are not going to look like what I pictured them in my head. So I was
mhm.
like, we got this Procreate. Let's try to make something shake. And it just snowballed. Now I got like a whole bunch of characters in my iPad that y'all have never even met before, but soon.
That's amazing. So you taught yourself how to draw, or did you already have drawing abilities and you just brought it to the iPad? What was that like?
So I have always kind of drawn. I say
Mhm,
I'm more of a designer than a drawer because I will use like pre-made stamps in certain things in
mhm,
Procreate. Some of it's hand drawn, some of it's not. So like if you ever ask me, some people ask me like, why don't you design mine? Design mine. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing that because it's not all hand drawn. Like some
mhm.
of it is a pre-made stamp or a pre-made brush. Um, but I was like, I have this in my head, and this is the only way to get this out. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I've always been interested in like visual art, and I graduated from OCCC with like an associate's in graphic communication, so it's for photography and design. So I
Okay.
had a little bit of background in that,
Mhm.
and had to take art classes for that.
That's cool. Yeah, I love that you illustrate your covers because I know that that can be a little bit challenging for authors as far as like really trying to make sure the characters on the front of the book match the description in the book, match the match the vibe that you're trying to
Yes.
provide. Because we could say, the cover is, you should definitely read a book regardless of the cover, but we're very visual people and want the cover to look nice and look good and really be able to capture the story. So I think you definitely do that. And since you have the hand in it, you can also see how they also relate to each other as well, from Love at a Funeral to Happy Birthday, Mr. President, and then Drew for Love as well.
Yeah.
So I would love to know, how was your approach? So you spent time developing Love at a Funeral. You were able to release it. How was your approach to crafting Happy Birthday, Mr. President? The same or different from that process?
It was very different. Of course, my first novella. And also just throwing it out there, like I know, like I said, I have a lot of stuff. Love the Funeral is the first thing that I wrote, start to finish in completion. So the
Mhm.
whole thing is crazy. So happy birthday, Mr. President. It happened very quickly. I was in a live of the Morning Collective. I kind of hang out in their lives sometimes. I'll just be in the comments because it helps me get through the workday. And one of the girls' birthdays was coming up, and one of the girls was like, "I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna sing Happy Birthday, Mr. President" to her. And I was like, "Oh, that's funny, haha." Went to bed, laid down, and something in my head was like, sat up in the middle of the bed, like, "Hold on, that's a story." And it literally from start to finish, it took me like a month to write that whole thing and then put it out. Because I think her birthday was in October and it was released on November 28th. So it happened very quickly.
That's amazing. What inspired the characters of Ava and Preston in that story?
It really came to me. Everything came to me. I wrote like the quickest outline, and I was like, she's gonna be like this amazing performer, and he's gonna be like almost Obama-esque, real cool, laid back. We got a handsome black president, but he got a little edge to him. And
Yes.
it just kind of, yeah. And I was like, all he wanted was to see this girl, this woman that he had been lusting after for 12 years. So
Mhm. Are we going to see more of them in the future at some point? No rush, no rush. Just wondering.
I would love to run it back with them. It would probably, I gotta let them simmer a little bit though.
Yes. Yeah.
So like we might see them a little closer to the end of his term or something. But I would love
Okay.
to kind of go a little further with them.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting that the tone for that story is it's not much different, but it's different than Love at a Funeral. Like Love at a Funeral is there's like a little bit of hijinks in that between just the way that Mona and Tamir meet and then just their interactions with each other just based on their personalities. And then Ava and Preston feel a little bit more serious. Like they have like some humor about their relationship, but based on their past and what they had to go through, it definitely feels like a little bit more serious. Was that intentional based on as you were writing and thinking about those characters? Or were you trying for something different based on that being a novella and wanting to like capture that story in much less pages than we have for Love at a Funeral?
I knew because of like who he was, it had to be a little bit more serious. Like we gotta
Mhm.
keep this between us, and I had to give it a good reason because I sent it to my beta readers and I'm like, they're cussing me out the whole time. Like, girl, if you don't just make these people be together, I'm like, just keep reading, please. Like they can. I'm so sorry. And they get to the end and they're like, oh, so like it had to be a little deeper. Like that was literally the love of his life, and she just left him. And he's like, excuse
Mhm.
me, but she had her reasons.
Yes, yes. And folks will have to read to find out so that way they can get some clarity on that. Did you think it was easier to craft their story having written Love at a Funeral, even though it's a different story, because you knew going in it was going to be a novella, or did you was what was that process like? Was it easier?
It was easier just in the sense of like getting it all together. Because, like I said, Love and the Funeral took me forever. The one I'm working on now with Amaya, it took me forever because I mean, of course, just because there's more, you got
Mhm.
to figure out where the start and where the end is. Like this one, I just figured out how my story is going to end after like 8 outlines. I'm like, okay, this ending isn't it. But that one, it was easier because I know, okay, we have this time frame. They get one night and then a
Mhm.
little bit of backstory.
Mhm.
So only so much can happen in one night. So it's easier to keep it short and sweet and to the point.
Gotcha. Yeah. So let's talk about Drew and Love and probably do you have something against winter ski resorts or is
I've never been to one.
it probably yeah, that their vacation and their story, it was just one thing after the other with them. I really love their dynamic. How is that approach? Because that's still considered a novella. How is that approach different than Happy Birthday, Mr. President?
So this one, I kind of went through a few different things before I landed on it.
Mm.
I had read so many novellas where like the FMC hated Christmas. It was because we were coming out of Christmas.
Mhm.
FMC hated Christmas and yada yada yada. You better love it. And I was like, well, I want to flip it. I want an FMC who like loves the holiday. Love just happy go lucky, and her man is just trying to give her his all. And she's out here dodging death on a daily basis, and he's just back here fighting for her life. Like, and I was like, well, Valentine's Day is coming up. Let's put him in let's put him in a cold resort. And then I think I actually was just kind of playing around, and I did their cover art, the character art for the cover, and I was like, okay, let's go with it.
I love that. And I would say love is very similar to Mona as far as like being like a sweet person, like a sweet spirit. I definitely see love as more of like a Cree Summer type as far as like being, yeah, like being very lovable in that way. And like you said, Drew is just like, okay, I'll do what you want, even though I don't want to be, I don't want to be here, but I'm gonna do it because I love you and I want to make sure you're happy. What was the inspiration for having those series of misadventures that they have? Was that inspired by anything, or that just was like a fun idea for you?
It was just kind of just kind of snowballing off what I was thinking. I was like, I want her to just be out here twirling and oblivious. And like, he is doing his best because he is trying to, pop the question and he's trying to make everything perfect for her. And she's out here like, it's already perfect. What are you doing? But while still dodging death at every corner. I want it to be like a whole disaster.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of like one of those National Lampoon Vacation situations where it's
Yeah,
like
I want it the rom com for
yes,
real. Yes.
yes. I love that. And I know you mentioned you're working on a Maya story. So will we see Mona and Tamir in that, since that's running concurrently to their story? Or
Yes,
like
absolutely.
in the background. It's not their story,
Yeah,
so not as
it's
much.
not their story, but yeah, they're besties, so
Yes.
they'll be there.
Based on the books that you've published so far, uh, are there any other characters or situations that you're thinking about revisiting or expanding the Shay Dawn, the New Dawn universe?
I want to keep going with everybody. So the girls in New Dawn, I want to do one for each friend.
Mm.
I want to do people that have kind of been mentioned in the background, but haven't really they didn't really have any part of the story, but they probably had parts of their stories written before that was even touched.
Mm.
Um, Drew and Love and Ava and Preston come from a city called Slayton. I want to go there. That's
Mm.
more of like the urban fiction side of things. I am eventually like Drew's best friend that was talking crazy on the phone. I want to do something with him and his family. So I just want to keep going. Like, I wish I could write 100,000 words a day because y'all would have a book every day.
And we would love it. And we would definitely read read it if you are putting it out. What does your writing process look like as far as like trying to? I know you mentioned outlining. So are you someone who has to like outline, or you go with the flow a little bit, or is it a mix between the two?
It's a mix. I'm really still finding my footing.
Mm.
Um, like Love the Funeral, I think I was halfway done with it before I actually did the outline because I was like, I gotta figure out how this ends. With Jason and Maya's book, I started with the outline and have changed it so many times that it was like, what was the point?
Mm.
Um, Drew for Love, there was no outline. It was just chaos. Went in just, you know what, one, two, three, four, five, this is gonna
Yes.
happen. So, I mean, I have things that I have outlines for, and I have things where I just hop in there and start writing. So it's really, I'm still finding my way here.
Gotcha. Is there a part of the process that you enjoy the most versus like something you don't enjoy, but it's like it has to get done?
Editing is definitely not my favorite part because I'm with Love the Funeral, I probably could have put that through several more rounds of editing, got with a professional editor. But like by the minute it was done, I was on there like, y'all, somebody please read this for me. And then I had to edit it like five, six more times before the actual release date that was already announced. So I'm finishing up the first draft for my story. And I'm
Mhm,
already dreading like how many times I'm gonna have to reread this until I don't want to
mhm,
look at it anymore. But my
mhm.
absolute favorite part is like when I get it in the hands of the beta and the ARC readers and they are in my inbox crashing out. That is just so fun to me. Like I wish every I don't want to say that because RIP to my inbox. But like if you want to tag me, like if you like it, please feel free to tag
Right.
me. Please feel free to talk to me. I love talking about it. That's literally why I'm here. Like I just wanted to put something out that me and my friends could yap about.
Yes, yeah. And as a reminder, if you enjoyed it, you can comment. You can get in the DMs. If you will enjoy it. I'll just put it that way. If you feel differently, that's your own business. That's your personal that's your personal business. Yeah. How do you know when like a story is finished? So whether it's like the first finish and you're like, okay, now it's ready to go for someone else's eyes to be on it, whether it's editing or your beta and arc readers. And then I guess like the second finish when it's like, yes, it's finished. We have a date, we're putting it up, and it's going to get into the hands of the masses.
I'm still learning. With like I said, with Love at the Funeral, somebody read that first draft like the minute it was done.
Mhm.
With Happy Birthday, Mr. President, I had kind of announced it, so I'm like, okay, I gotta finish this before this day. But I mean, it worked out. I was like, hey, who's got time to read this little 70 pages before this comes out next week? And then with Drew for Love, there was also a time crunch because it had come out before Valentine's Day. But
Mhm.
I mean, we're active on Thread, so like I'm like updating every step of the way. Like, okay, all right, I gotta edit this again, and it's done. Who wants to read it? And I had some really amazing ladies pop in my DMs, like, girl, send it here. And I was like, y'all, is this stupid? Like, is this have I taken it too far? And they're like, no, this is funny. This might be my favorite one. So I'm like, okay. So
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. As a newer author, what is something from like the transition to being like a reader and a content creator talking about books, to now being an author that readers would not expect or would be surprised to know about being on the author
um
side of things?
I'll say, I mean, of course, it's not as easy as it looks. People, get on here all day. Like, I could have did better. Go ahead. Because,
Mhm.
baby, like, I like, oh, you misspelled a word on page 37. Do you know how many times I read that? Like, it's really not as
Mhm.
easy as it looks in marketing that you have to get on some sort of social media and talk about these movies every single day. Like, I know y'all tired of me. I'm so sorry.
I'm definitely not tired of it. I love it because you can tell how passionate you are about your work and your characters, how much intentionality you put into them. So I love it, especially when you tease some new illustrations and scenes and scenes like that to go with the story. I love it. So I'm definitely not tired of it. I'm sure on your end, it can definitely get tiring because it's like you might be feeling like you're saying the same thing 7 times in a row, trying to make sure the right people see it. But I definitely am not tired of it.
That's good to hear because sometimes I'll be like, they just don't like unfollow me until the next book comes out.
No.
That's why I haven't stopped doing like my book recs because I'm like, y'all need something in between. Like, I cannot do this every day.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah. It's good to have a mix between the two, but I'm definitely not tired of it. So you can definitely keep posting as much as you want about your work.
Good
Um,
to know.
yes. Well, congratulations are in order since your books are coming to audio. So those that are audio listeners or want to revisit, and the first one coming up is Happy Birthday, Mr. President. So those who haven't had a chance to meet Ava and Preston can listen to them and read them with their ears. Can you share a little bit more about what that process was like and being able to put your work in audio?
It took me by surprise. I was just minding my business one day. I got an email from Podium. Podium approached me about Happy Birthday, Mr. President. Hey, we wanted to see about, doing an audiobook. And I was like, okay. And I think that not knowing what I was doing kind of got me a little further in the long run because
Mm,
she asked me about both books, but they were only inquiring about Happy Birthday, Mr. President. So I was
mm,
like, so hey, what about the other one? And she was
mm.
like, let me look it up. She was like, you know what? Matter of fact, let me go ahead and happy birthday, Mr. President. Oh, and actually, I'll give you some tea. So
Okay.
I did put out the announcement that Tree Taylor and Ace Bentley will be narrating Happy Birthday, Mr. President. They will
Oh,
also be narrating Love at the Funeral.
oh,
Um,
that's
so yeah, I was like, you know what? If it ain't broke, and
amazing.
that should be out mid-summer, I think, mid-July, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Um, it's a lot of behind the scenes that I mean I'm not even in. Like they make you rework your whole transcript, like put the person's name at the top, and you got it. It's not gonna look like a book. Like tell me who's
Mhm.
is there anything in there that's not like that's copyrighted? So that was the whole process of having to go reread through everything once again after I said I'll never read this again. But it was crazy. I wasn't expecting it.
That's amazing. And then Happy Birthday, Mr. President. Is there a set release date for that one yet? Is it May?
I think it's May 12th, if I'm not mistaken. They said they were going to send it to Audible in the next couple weeks, so pre-orders could start.
Okay.
But I'm almost positive it's May 12th.
Got you. Okay. That is amazing. And then did you get to pick narrators that have like an influence in the narrators that were selected?
Yes, I know some people said that like they got like some people who auditioned. I didn't get that, but I worked with like a casting director. I write down like, hey, this person is XYZ. This is what they sound
Mm,
like. They give me suggestions. I give them suggestions, and then we kind of work together to curate who we thought would sound, most like what I pictured in my head.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, it was I was involved in that part, and then of course I did my cover art, so I just had to really send it to them, and they just reworked it to make it audiobook. So.
That's amazing. That definitely opens up other opportunities for other readers who maybe only listen to audio or prefer audio and want to dive into your work. So it's amazing you're able to reach even more people when both of those will be out. I would love to chat a little bit about your transition from being a content creator and talking all things books and the book racks and things like that that you post to also incorporating your author journey and identity in your content. How do you try to balance the two? And are there some things now that you have in mind now that you are also an author posting content?
Yeah, the key word in that is try. I just do what I can.
Mhm,
I try to post about mine at least every other day. And then I don't, I know like there's a whole reader space and the whole, I came into this space like I want to read Black books. I want to give rights for Black books. I want to find more Black books to read. And I built like a little following and I don't want to just completely give that up. Again, I wasn't expecting all this. I thought like I was just going to be able to throw that out and fade back into what I was doing. That didn't work out, but I don't want to completely give up on what I was doing before. First of all, because it's fun. Like it's like
mhm,
Like, just because I'm doing this doesn't mean I can't do this. I just have to make sure I'm moving with intention, I'll say.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, I have 3 books. If you read my 3 books and you get tired of me talking about it, you can leave. Like, no, sit down. I got some more recs for you. It's fine. So and I just genuinely love it. I love being in this space. I love like being able to chat with authors who I'm still in awe of. Like, wait, you talking to me? You was looking for me. Like, Monique threaded me the other day and was like, girl, that's you. I've been looking for you. I was like, you were looking for me? Brienne and May like shouting me out. I'm like, you guys, like wait, please. So it's just the whole thing is really amazing, and I want to keep it up for as long as I possibly can. I hope I never have to stop.
Yeah, no, I definitely love that. And I loved being introduced to you through your book rec videos because my reading list is already never ending. But then I'm like, wait, I see Shay mentioned this one. I have to add, add it to my list too. So I definitely appreciate you continuing to incorporate those videos. And you don't have a little following. You have a dedicated community. You have a dedicated community, which is great to continue to leverage because I know some authors decide whether they're going to have like a separate author account or if they're what they're going to do if they were posting something differently previously. So I enjoy that you incorporated the two.
Yeah, I don't have it in me to make another social media page, so that definitely played into it. I was like, I can't do this again,
Yes,
please.
yes. And we want you to protect your time so you have time to write if you feel so inspired, as opposed to having to manage 50 million pages all over the place like that. That's
Because listen, before I came into the bookish space, I was like over on the makeup side of things. So I had like my personal Instagram, my makeup Instagram, my personal like Facebook, my makeup Facebook. I had a TikTok that I only did makeup on, and I was like, I got 2 TikToks, I got 3 Instagrams, I got like 3 Facebook pages. I was like, I'm not making another thing. I'll just have to be a ghost at this point because I'm not making nothing else.
yes, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, especially if you're trying to post something differently in each place that
Yeah, I gave up.
nobody has time.
My the people in like the makeup community and probably like even my family they might think I went with Malik to the upper room because I have not posted on none of them pages in like forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to talk about just like what you're thinking about next and just like you creating this space for you as an author. But first, if you overheard a reader who was raving about your work to someone else and loved it, what 3 words would you want to hear them say?
Funny, first of all, first and foremost, because I feel like if I can make you laugh, I can make you do anything.
Yes.
Um, Funny. A good time is not a word, but it's 3 words. But like, I want you to
We'll
have a
allow
good time.
it.
I want you to have a good like because that's literally why I'm here. When I was just a reader, I wasn't reading to analyze everything. I was here for the feels. Like, oh, I want you to have a good time. And the third one, tea, because I want to spill some tea. It's always gonna be
Mhm.
some sort of drama, something.
I love that. And when someone finishes a Shay Dawn book, what do you want them to feel?
That they had a good time. That's really. I hope I put a smile on your face.
Hmm. Yes. As you're thinking about continuing and crafting stories and continuing to illustrate characters we have not, we haven't met yet, but maybe we will sometime in the future. Um, is there any specific gap that you notice as far as like books that were available where you want folks to leave having a good time, or do you want to just continue to add additional books in that same vein that will make people laugh, have a good time, and be a little messy in there too?
I kind of struggle with it a little bit. I'm like, do I want to try to go, deeper, I guess, per se? Like, I see the girls on the timeline, like, I read this and I cried the whole time. I don't ever want to make y'all cry. Some of the girls said they did Happy Birthday, Mr. President, and 11 the funeral made them cry a couple times. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. But I hope you were laughing by the end. Like, I don't think that's my bag. Like, I'm very much a laugh to keep from crying type of
Mhm,
person. So
mhm.
in the worst of situations, I'm a crack a joke. And I think I'm just gonna try to keep that with me. I mean, we might get a little, but by the end, I think it'll still be a good time.
Gotcha. Um, what is your favorite book in your catalog so far? If you had
That's
to
a
pick
hard
one.
question. If I had to pick, it would just have to be my baby Love at a Funeral. It would just have to,
Mhm.
because that just like changed everything. So.
Yes. Is that where you would suggest if there's a new reader that wants to read your work for them to start there?
Yeah, I say start with me at the beginning. But if you
Mhm.
only got time, I got these novellas too. If
Yes.
you only got, if you only got a few hours, go ahead. But Love at the Funeral is, I mean, it's a good, like, you can grow with me. We can do it together.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Are there any other tropes or genres that you would love to explore in the future?
A lot. I wanna go more into the urban romance, urban fiction. I
Mhm.
wanna go into like more supernatural fantasy. I wanna do
Mhm.
like a little thriller. Like
Okay.
there's this whole universe in my head that like
Yes. I'm
that if
excited.
I could write faster, y'all would have. But
Okay.
you still like the girl will be running from the killer, and you still gonna be laughing because it's me.
Almost like that. What was the name of that movie? The Blackening. I don't know if you saw that,
Oh God, yeah,
where it's a horror, but it's hilarious throughout. Like some
yeah.
that vibe, I could definitely imagine. um, so, are you attending any events where folks can meet you and share their love for your work?
I will only be at BRBF this year. I'll be there as a reader, but I'm
Hmm.
gonna have some goodies. I might sneak a book or two, if you want to catch me in the lobby or something. Uh, I was like, I was gonna do another book festival, but that did not work out. And everybody was like, Shay, and I was like, well, if you're gonna be at BRBF, I can try to bring you something. But I'm since I popped out so late in the year, I feel like I missed all the opportunities for the book
Mm,
festivals. But I'm gonna definitely be looking into some maybe in the next year. Fingers
yeah.
crossed.
Yeah. What are some events that you would love to be an author at in the future?
I wish I could be everywhere black. Like I wish I could.
Mhm.
I just look at the girls, even as a reader. Like they were what at Plots and Pours was
Yes.
that
Yeah.
yesterday, and
Mhm.
I was just looking
Mhm.
at the screen like y'all just keep having fun without me, huh? Like I missed BRBF last year. I was sick, but I was like, y'all won't get me again. Next year I want to apply. I've had people like, girl, why aren't you? I'm like, because I just put this book out in October. The deadline to apply was in like May. No, I'm not gonna
Yes.
be there as an author. So I'm gonna try to apply. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
BRBF, if y'all see this, check me
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. You could be on the lookout for you could put the application to the top of the list, definitely. Yeah. How I know you're at the beginning of your, which will hopefully be a long and very successful author journey. What are some ways in which you hope to define success for you as an author?
I do want. I mean, I want to grow. I want, like I said, grow with me. I want, I don't know because I wasn't planning on this being what it was really. It was supposed to be a little cute little thing, and then they were like, and I was like, I could put this out, and if it flops, nobody will ever know. And they were like, "Oh, you coming back?" So I was told that I was the author. So I
Yes,
guess I'm the author now.
yes, yes, you are. Definitely. Especially with three books in your catalog. Like maybe if it was only one, but you have three and more coming. So definitely, you definitely are an author. Is there anything that excites you about your journey, where your journey is headed?
Just seeing where it goes, because again, in the last 4 or 5 months, things have happened that I've never ever expected to happen. So
Mhm.
I'm just trying to, just sit back and enjoy the ride, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. So, how can us as readers support you?
Reviews, word of mouth. If y'all see some openings for some Black Book events, tag me. Um,
Mhm,
just, just keep showing up. People have shown up for me every step of this way,
mhm.
and again, I'm still floored by it because I wasn't expecting any of this. I can't believe y'all like me this much. But even again, if I never sold another book, I feel like this is like literally changed my life. So
Oh, that is amazing. I am so excited to start your catalog at the beginning of your journey, and I cannot wait to see where it goes. And I hear there's supposed to be a dance battle in a future book, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see.
I have to do it. I've been watching Stomp the Yard all weekend. I was like, you know what? This is going in the book.
So I am excited for that. If folks want to connect with you directly, where should they go?
I have a link tree in my bio. I'm on Threads pretty much all day, every day. Like if you want the real tea is on Threads. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. But again, like if you you'll probably get a reply in 30 seconds if you write me on Threads.
Gotcha. Okay. If you want to connect with Shay or learn more about her catalog, you can visit her at Book Bay Shay on IG, TikTok, and Threads. And you can explore her catalog at authorshaydawn.com. Thank you so much, Shay, for joining me.
Thank you for having me. And also congratulations because you're a celebrity. I was like, I meant to say that when I first came on, but like, come on.
Not exactly, not celebrity status yet,
No,
but
you are a celebrity. Love to see it.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me.